How are you, Jamie? Kirby, sorry.
No, no worries. I'm good. How are you?
Really good. Excited to be talking.
Yes, yes. Well, again, I'm Kirby from Blue Magazine. We're super excited to be speaking with you. So thanks for the opportunity.
And of course, the feeling's mutual. Can't wait.
Thank you. Thank you. So, first, I know we have a limited amount of time, so I'll jump in. First, I just have to know, I know you penned a letter to say how passionate you were about the original Scream. So I just have to know, like, tell me about that passion, like what drove
Yeah.
it? And also, was this like part of your goal? Because if so, this worked out perfect.
Yeah, I guess it's a form of manifesting, so to speak, but
Yeah.
it was actually an essay written in college,
Okay.
which actually obviously was long before I even knew they were going to make a legacy sequel for the Scream franchise. That just happened to contextually make sense to bring up in the moment. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I'm such a big fan. It was one of the first horror movies that allowed me to think of the genre as like elevated cinema.
Okay.
And they had wondered if I could send them the essay thereafter. And I was like, of course, I'd love if you guys would read it, take the time. And then about 3 weeks later, it was like a random Monday, I got a call that the offer came through, and I was very excited. I screamed fittingly.
Yeah.
So
Yes, love that. Love that. I love how that all came together too. And I see that this is being titled the most ruthless of all the films. Like, why do you think that is? What makes this one different?
I think it's this setting. I think New York is a uh, very visceral landscape. I think that's part of what makes the city move so fast, as things are so high octane and quickly paced, that the violence that would take place in the metropolitan area of New York would follow suit and just have a higher level of intensity. More than that, Ghostface this time around just is something different. That'll make sense when it's revealed, but the motivation and drive behind Ghostface's actions is just indicative of that violence and viscera.
Ooh, okay, I'm excited. Okay. Yes, get ready. Okay, now what elements of our can Scream fans expect? Like, what are they going to say? Okay, this is what I'm used to, this is what I'm familiar with. And what new things do you think outside of it being in New York is going to maybe drive some new audiences?
I think what at least makes me comfortable as a longtime fan of the franchise
Yeah.
is the like themes and messaging a lot rely upon like family and like sticking close to the people that you trust most, and um remaining skeptical of the world around you, but through the lens of protection and trying to be, you know, uh together with your chosen group
Yeah.
in this case. And I think what brings new people in is the fresh take that Radio Silence has kind of applied to their vision of Wes's original narrative. And I think the guys have certainly done their best to respect what came before, but also add their own personal and artistic take on what the original quadrilogy, quadrality. Uh, Needless to say, it's a lot more of a Radio Silence, Matt, Tyler, Chad influence that is encompassing of what
Mhm.
Wes has done, and also where they'd like to take the franchise from here.
Do you think there's anything about your character where you say like, "Hey, this feels really familiar. I connect with this. This is me." I know you said like I'm the jock thing you don't connect with, but is there anything about just how he keeps continuing on, he presses on, anything that really just sticks with you?
I love that Chad is willing to put himself on the line to protect the people that he loves. I think that's something as a young man he's kind of coming into.
Yeah.
He's willing and affords himself the space to like take direction and criticism from women in his life, whether it be his sister or even Tara and Sam. And that's something depicted in the movie that I try to do in my personal life, is not necessarily to shun criticism when it comes from places or people that know better than me, regardless of who they are or what my relationship is to them. And I respect that deeply about Chad. Do I think his Gen Z mentality comes through sometimes that I don't necessarily relate to? For sure. But I think at his core, he's just a really good guy that wants the best for the people he loves.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I have to shift gears a little bit. I've seen like the marketing campaigns, which first of all, if I'm walking down the street and I saw that, I would just immediately just start taking pictures and selfies. I think
That's right.
so cool. I know Ghostface needs to be in Atlanta. But tell me, what are your thoughts? I know some people are really excited, some people are like kind of creeped out. What are your thoughts on the whole marketing layout and Ghostface popping up in random cities?
I think people are right to be curious and cautious of a famed serial killer just showing up in their city. But I think it gets people talking about the movie, and people really start to wonder what they would do in this in a situation where Ghostface is amidst their presence. I like that people were respectful and safe of the performer in the costume, and they weren't hurt in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But I do like that the immersion factor is definitely where the marketing team has taken it, because it's fun for me at least.
Yeah, no, I love how things have like changed. It's not just the traditional marketing and advertising, how things have gotten so different and keep it fun. So for sure.
Yeah.
And then also I want to know, a lot of people who read our magazines are creatives or aspiring creatives. So can you talk to some of the aspiring actors? Like what advice would you give for people who want to be in this industry or maybe even in film and entertainment? Just
Yeah,
generally.
I would say the same thing I always say to aspiring actors or artists, is like to contextualize the no. Is
Mhm.
it's not necessarily in terms of auditioning and like applying for jobs in filmmaking, that when you hear no, it has something to do with you personally. More often than not, it's just a matter of the creative vision that the director or creative director has that isn't in line with how you maybe express yourself artistically. Doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean it's wrong or that it's bad. It's just not in line with what they've decided they would like to showcase. So when you're performing, make choices, do what feels right for you. And if you get that no,
Mhm.
naturally it's not entirely something you did so much as it's just not in line with their vision. And if you get that yes, you can appreciate the fact that it's something you brought to it personally that they responded to. And that's why you got the job.
Nice. Do you remember the moment when you said, "This is what I want to do? It's not a hobby. It's not something fun. It's something I want to." Was it before NYU? Like, when did you know this is what you want to do with your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was afforded a very specific showcase of the industry with my father, who is an actor himself.
Right.
And I think it always was a question of if that was something I even had the ability to like perform and to pursue it as a career. And I don't know if I definitively knew that answer until I had booked my first job on Ballers on HBO,
Yeah.
season 4. And there was a moment in the water, because I played a surfer, where they were towing me back in to reset a shot. And in the context of the scene, there was a big surf competition. There were hundreds of people on the beach, and it was just before sunset, so it was like golden hour. And I was being towed back on the water on this surfboard, and I saw all the camera crew and all the people, and they were all clapping from something I had done on the board. And I was just like, I could do this for the rest of my life. Like, this is my calling, and I just want to get better at it and hone my craft.
Yes. Yes. Well, we love watching the process, and it looks great.
Yeah,
So
man, it's
excited.
all out there on display.
Yes. Yes. Amazing. Amazing. That's so cool. And then finally, I want to ask, what's next for you? Is this a genre you want to keep diving into? Horror? Is it action? Like, what's next for you, and where do you see your career going?
Well, I'm a big horror fan, and have always felt like there's so much entertainment potential in the horror genre that I don't think there's ever a time where I would say I don't want to do it anymore. Um, I've always loved combat sports, so I feel like, and this might just be me contextualizing the fact that you said action movie, but that always sounded like a fun time to me. But honestly, anything that like a random career goal of mine is to just be able to dress up as a character and go hang with kids and be, try and like sort of um involve myself in the community and have my art and my representation of a character sort of um go beyond the screen itself and just kind of be amidst, the audience in a more tangible way, I suppose. But
Yeah.
that's the most vague and general way of
Love
answering your
it.
question, but
Love it. Means a lot to opportunity. Lots to
that's
do.
right.
See you later.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to share the story. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you for taking the time.
No problem. Nice meeting you.